Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? And happy MLB opening night. Yes, you heard that correctly. Tonight is MLB opening night, and it's going to be a great season. Speaking of MLB, that is what we are talking about in today's video. We are going to predict the win totals of every MLB team, go by division, by conference, talk about who I think is going to win the World Series early on in my early season predictions, and just kind of give our thoughts on what this baseball season is about to be. But first, if you are new to the channel, you already know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Tomorrow, we will have our Road to Glory episode for Texas A&M, so stay tuned for that. But today, MLB kicks off with the Yankees and the Giants over on Netflix, actually. So if you're looking for something to watch tonight, that is what, of course, is over on Netflix. However, the Auburn Tigers have a game tonight in Neville Arena one last time, taking on Nevada in the NIT quarterfinals. The Hawks, they are playing on ESPN. So it's a busy night in sports, that's for sure. And can't wait to get after it as the MLB season is kicking off tonight as well. And we are going to predict every single every single MLB team's record in 2026. All right, so kicking us off here in the American League East, we got the defending American League champion Toronto Blue Jays. I'm going to give them about 90 wins or so. I think they're going to have a really good roster. Obviously, George Springer coming back for another year. You got some really talented pitchers there. You got Vlad coming back as well. This Toronto Blue Jays squad is going to be a very, very good squad. But there are going to be other teams in this American League East, like the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays and the Orioles. Actually, this whole division is stacked pretty much, and this is going to be one of the better divisions to watch in baseball. Moving on, we got the Baltimore Orioles out of the American League East. I'm going to give them 80 wins or so. I think they're going to be on the lower side of the division when it comes to kind of making the playoffs, right? There's only going to be two teams probably that make the playoffs out of this division, and I'll talk about who I think that's going to be here in a second. But the Orioles, obviously, they don't have the pitching, the great pitching like these Tampa Bay Rays have, the New York Yankees have with Garrett Cole, the Boston Red Sox, they have really good defensive guys as well. So, again, I just think that the Orioles are going to be probably the last team in the division, but it's going to be very close because I have the Tampa Bay Rays actually having about 77 to 75 wins this season as well. I just think Randy being gone this offseason, of course, I believe the Tampa Bay Rays are not going to be in for a great season, that's for sure, and they will not have a good season when it comes to in terms of the American League East. Moving us on to, of course, the Boston Red Sox, right? The team that traded for, I believe, Rafael, of course, this past season. He was the best player they could have gotten, honestly. The Red Sox, they are really good, really talented ball club, obviously, with their manager, Alex Cora, coming back for another year as well. I have the Boston Red Sox sitting at 85, 87 wins on the year. I just think they're going to be really good. I think they're going to take that leap this year when it comes to, hey, we could win this division potentially. I still think it's going to go to the Blue Jays if they can stay healthy. But I like the Boston Red Sox in this division better than the New York Yankees, who I think are going to have 85 wins this year. I think that the New York Yankees, yes, you have Aaron Judge, one of the best players in baseball. Yes, you have Garrett Cole, one of the best pitchers in baseball as well. But I just think that the Yankees are in for a little bit of a surprise because the Boston Red Sox got better this offseason. I'm going to be real. So did the Toronto Blue Jays. They are defending American League champions for a reason. And I think the New York Yankees actually are going to be third in the American League East when it comes time. And I will give my American League East championship to, of course, the Toronto Blue Jays in that one. Moving on, we got the American League Central here. The Cleveland Guardians starting us out. The Guardians, of course, they won the division last year. Their pitching is going to be really good. Then you have the Detroit Tigers. Then you have the Twins, the White Sox, the Royals. I think the Royals are probably going to be the most improved team in baseball, especially with Bobby Witt coming alive here. I think, however, with that being said, when it comes to the Cleveland Guardians, I've got them at 85 wins this year. I do. I think their pitching is really good. They have some good offensive players in there as well, but I still think they're going to be on the lower side of this division, if you're asking me. Moving on to the Kansas City Royals, I will take them at 80 wins this year. in the MLB. Like I said, Bobby Witt Jr. is one of the better players in baseball on that Kansas City Royals squad. It's all going to be about that pitching and that pitching staff for Kansas City over there. I have them 80 wins or so, and they will be in contention for a wild card spot, and they will be my surprise team of the MLB season. Moving on, we got the Detroit Tigers, of course, Tarek Skubal and the Detroit Tigers, one of the best pitchers in the major leagues. And I will have the Tigers at 90 wins this season. I really do. I think the Tigers are going to jump the Guardians, and I think they're going to win this division this year. So I'm going to take the Tigers to have 90 wins or so. Bringing us to the Chicago White Sox, they'll probably have about 40 wins. There's just really no hope. They just exist for the most part in that division. So there you go. Chicago White Sox, they'll get about 40 wins this season for sure. Up next, we have the American League West. Starting off with the Texas Rangers, going to go down this time. I have the Texas Rangers improving a lot from last year at 75 wins or so. I think they're going to be really good. They're going to be in contention for that wild card spot in the American League, but it's just not going to be enough with, I believe, a new head coach or a new manager this season for sure. But I've got to go with the Rangers getting 75 wins this season as well. Moving on, we got the Athletics. I have them. I think they've got better. I think they really have gotten better over the offseason. I'm going to put them at 50 wins or so on the year. The Astros, I'll take them to win the division this year. I'm going to have them, obviously, in one of my favorite teams, obviously. Going to go with 90 wins or so. The Astros, of course, Jose Altuve's in there looking like he's going to be a beast all season. The young pitching core that we have is going to be a problem in the American League West, and I cannot be more excited for them. And the Astros win this division. Of course, the defending champion, Seattle Mariners, who I have at 89 wins. I think it's going to be a tight game, a tight race when it comes to the American League Central. American League West, and I think that the Seattle Mariners actually finished second, with the Los Angeles Angels finishing last at 40 wins or so in the American League West. Now, moving on to the National League West, jumping over to the National League side of things, the Arizona Diamondbacks, they are kind of an iffy team, right? They're not the greatest team in baseball, that's for sure, but I do have them at 45 wins this season. The Dodgers, obviously, one of the best teams in baseball. They just got Alex Bregman, I believe, Kyle Tucker from the Chicago Cubs. They are going to be a really good overall team in baseball, well-rounded, giving them to have 100 wins on the year. Then we have the San Francisco Giants, who I think will have 90. San Diego Padres, I think they'll have 90. And then the Rockies, they'll have about 40 wins as well. Bringing us to the American National League Central, rather. I keep getting these divisions mixed up, so just bear with me here. But the Milwaukee Brewers, they'll be kind of around 70 wins or so in the National League Central. I think they're going to be a better team. Christian Yelich coming back from injury this past season, so I think the Milwaukee Brewers are going to be a decent and competitive team in the National League Central. Moving on to the St. Louis Cardinals, where we have the 40-win mark team. That's who I've got this team going, and I think they'll be the last team in this division come playoff time. Chicago Cubs, got to put them at 90 wins. I like what they got with Dansby Swanson, of course, over there. The pitching, the rotation that they have is really good. I'm going to go with the Chicago Cubs to have about 90 wins and win that division. Bringing us to the Pittsburgh Pirates, where I think they will have 80 wins. I think their offense is going to be really good. Obviously, Paul Skeens, one of the best pitchers in baseball, and I think the Pirates will have about 80 wins or so on the year. And then the Cincinnati Reds, Elly De Cruz, of course, is one of the biggest players internationally in baseball, one of the fastest players in baseball in the major leagues. They're going to be a really talented ball club as well, and I have them about 80 wins or so as well. I think the Pirates and the Reds are actually going to battle it out for a wild card spot in the National League Central this season. So, again, I have them getting about 80 wins or so in the National League Central Division. Bringing us to the National League East, where we have the Philadelphia Phillies. They are probably going to win this division. They are the best team in this division. Kyle Schwarber, you got Bryce Harper, of course, two of the very good players in baseball that were on the USA World Baseball Classic team. I've got to get them with 95 to 100 wins on the year. I just think they're by far better. If they can remain healthy, they're going to win this division by far, and the Phillies will have about 100 wins on the year. Then we got the Nationals, who have been an iffy team this offseason, to say the least. I'll give them 60 wins or so on the year. The New York Mets, I hate the Mets with a passion. I'm going to be real. I'm going to give them 75 wins, though. Jacob deGrom, one of the better pitchers in baseball, again, is still on that pitching staff, so you can't always count the Mets out. But for some reason, they just always sell when it comes to be the important time, and I think the Nationals will, or excuse me, the Mets will have about 75, 80 wins in there as well. The Marlins, they'll be the 40-win team of this division. Then you got the Atlanta Braves in there. My team, my favorite team in the MLB. And, of course, I have them getting about 80 wins on the year. This team has to be healthy, man, if they want a shot at winning the National League East. The Philadelphia Phillies have overtaken them every year now for the past few years, and it's a pain because Ronald Acuna Jr. can't stay healthy. Ozzy Albies can't stay healthy. Then you got guys like Matt Olson hitting home run bombs, but we don't have a pitching staff either, as Spencer Strider's gone down. We've already seen that start the year. Chris Sale's getting up there in age. So this Braves team has to be on fire this year and start the year out with a bang, and can't afford another 7-game losing streak to start the year, as the Braves will have about 80 wins, 85 wins on the season, and the Phillies will win the National League East. But that is going to do it for my MLB division standings predictions. To recap, I've got the Toronto Blue Jays, the Boston Red Sox. I've got, of course, the Houston Astros. I've got in the American League, actually. Then I have in the American League Central, I have the Detroit Tigers winning that division as well. And then in the National League, we got the Phillies in the East. We got, of course, the Cubs in the Central. And we've got the Dodgers in the National League West. So I think that's a pretty good lineup of division winners. Let me know where we differ in the comments down below. How excited you are for MLB opening day as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on, hit that notification bell. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace.